My aloof roommate accidentally discovered my secret. I can lactate. But he didn't make fun of me. He even offered to help me keep it a secret. Just when I let my guard down, he started climbing into my bed. He'd forcefully shove the hem of my pajamas at my mouth. Bite down. If you cry, I opened my eyes with a sigh as the fabric over my chest became uncontrollably damp. Great, time to change again. I quietly got up and climbed down from my bunk bed. My roommates were in the middle of a game and didn't notice me sneaking around. After grabbing a fresh t-shirt from my closet, I slipped into the bathroom. But just then, the dorm room door swung open. A handsome guy with a cool expression walked in, and we came face to face. Even though this campus heartthrob and I weren't super close, we still exchanged a few words now and then. So I stopped and greeted him warmly. "Alan, you're back?" "Yeah." The guy grunted in response. Then his gaze drifted down to my chest. "Why is your shirt wet?" I fought the urge to cover myself and just laughed awkwardly. I spilled some water on myself. "Oh, really?" Alan's dark eyes met mine. "Because I smell milk." I forced a smile. "Oh, right. I was drinking milk too. Spilled that as well. Anyway, Alan, you should go change and get some rest. I'm feeling a little hot, so I'm just going to take another shower. I'll be quick, you can have it in a bit." Without waiting for a reply, I pretended to be in a rush and ducked into the bathroom. The guy at the door stood quietly for a few seconds before walking away. I bit my lip, turned to the mirror, and glumly pulled off my shirt. Then I looked up at my reflection, feeling completely defeated. My chest was soaked. The air in the bathroom inexplicably smelled faintly of milk. The scene was so embarrassing I couldn't even look at it for long. I turned on the ventilation fan. My ears burned with a mix of shame and frustration. Unbelievable. To this day, I still don't understand how a guy, suddenly started lactating. At first, I thought I had some terminal illness and rushed to the hospital in a panic. The doctor said it was nothing serious, just that my chest was a bit overdeveloped. He told me not to worry, that it would go away after a while with some medication. So all I could do was wait for it to get better. But it's been almost half a month, and this weird condition hasn't gone away. In fact, it flares up at random times. I have to change my t-shirt twice a day. I've already gone through 2 jugs of laundry detergent. To avoid suspicion from the roommates I live with, I'd either make up an excuse about spilling milk or claim I was hot and hide in the bathroom, taking endless showers. I was doing everything I could to hide it, terrified of being seen as some kind of freak. Thankfully, my other roommates are pretty clueless guys who don't overthink things. I've been able to get by with my excuses. The only tough one was my aloof roommate, Alan. It wasn't just that he was ridiculously good-looking, he was also incredibly smart. Every time I had a flare-up in the dorm, his dark eyes would sweep over me, intentionally or not. Terrified me. I was so scared he'd figure something out. If he told anyone, my life would be over. I dejectedly turned on the shower, sighing as I washed myself. Ugh, when will this humiliating condition finally go away? I only came out of the bathroom after my chest was back to normal. Alan was walking over with a change of clothes. He casually glanced at my now clean and dry chest. "All done?" "Yep, go ahead. There's still plenty of hot water." I smiled sweetly. "Okay." The guy walked past me and straight into the bathroom. But then he stopped. I panicked instantly. Don't tell me the smell of milk hasn't cleared out of the bathroom yet. But I turned on the fan. As my heart pounded, Alan turned back to look at me. "Felix, you forgot your shirt." "My shirt?" I peeked inside. There, on the sink counter, was the damp pajama shirt I'd just taken off. You could still faintly see the dried white milk stains on it. Crap. My eyes widened, and I rushed over, balled up the shirt, and tossed it into my wash basin. "Sorry, I forgot to wash it. I'll just let it soak for a bit and wash it later. You go ahead and shower. I'm just gonna go lie down for a bit." I quickly fled the bathroom. Alan didn't ask any more questions, as if it was just some trivial matter. But as the sound of the shower started, I lay in my bed, my heart racing. Even though I knew Alan wouldn't stoop to touching my dirty laundry, I was still incredibly nervous that he might have noticed something. Fortunately, It wasn't long before Alan came out of the bathroom, drying his hair with a towel. He was holding 2 pieces of clothing that had clearly just been washed. I squinted. Huh? They looked familiar. Not sure, let me look again. Wait, don't those look like my dirty pajamas? I shot open my bed curtain. Alan, why do you have my pajamas? Alan looked up at me. I was doing my laundry and washed yours along with it. You washed them for me? I was dumbfounded, my mind completely blank as if it had been kicked by a donkey. The guy's face was calm. Yeah, but the milk you spilled had dried and was a little hard to get out. I had to scrub it a few times. Felix, what brand of milk are you drinking? Smells unique. I struggled to maintain my composure. What's so unique about it? It's pretty sweet. The guy looked at me, his eyes dark and intense. It felt like he was hinting at something, but maybe he was just making a casual observation. Either way, I felt myself blushing so hard I could have been cooked. It's just the strawberry milk from the store downstairs. Nothing special. I can give you a carton to try if you want. No need. I'll just buy some myself tomorrow. I forced a well-behaved smile. Okay, but remember to buy 5 at once. You get a discount. Got it. Alan replied and turned to hang up the clothes. After thanking him again, I quickly and clumsily retreated behind my curtain. I couldn't help but peek through the gap in the curtains to watch his back. It seemed like Alan hadn't noticed anything unusual, but just the thought of this golden boy washing the milk stains off my shirt with those long, beautiful hands and saying it smelled sweet made my scalp tingle. My ears were burning and my heart was racing. What is wrong with my life? That night, my dreams were a chaotic mess. One moment, Alan discovered my secret, his handsome face filled with disgust. The next, he was coldly washing my clothes for me. Then, I dreamt he was pointing at my chest, saying he wanted to try the strawberry-flavored milk. His eyes filled with a devouring hunger. I whimpered that I was scared. The whole dream was completely disjointed. It made me wake up the next morning with a blush as I looked down at my chest. Thank God, no episode today. But it felt full and a little uncomfortable. Well, uncomfortable is better than nothing. As long as it doesn't start leaking in the middle of class today. I really didn't want to carry a change of clothes to the men's room all the time. Maybe my prayers were especially sincere, because a whole day passed without an incident. It wasn't until I was on my way back to the dorm that I started to feel a familiar dampness on my chest. Perfect. I should be able to make it back to the dorm without any issues. I kept my head down and walked quickly. Just then, my roommate Mike pinged the dorm group chat, saying they were pulling an all-nighter at a LAN center and wouldn't be back. I glanced over at the basketball court, where Alan was surrounded by a crowd of pretty girls as he played. It didn't look like he'd be done anytime soon. Yep, popular guys like him are always busy. Anyway, with my roommates gone for now, it looked like I wouldn't have to hide in the bathroom to secretly clean myself up today. My steps instantly became lighter, and my mood lifted. I didn't even notice the most eye-catching guy in the crowd glance at my retreating back. After rushing back to the dorm, I locked the door, drew the bed curtains, and then took off my shirt. Maybe because I'd been holding it in all day, this episode was a bit more severe, a sudden, heavy rush. The overly sweet, milky scent gradually filled the neat, minimalist dorm room. I sniffed the air. Wait, does it actually smell like strawberries? But this time, I wasn't in a hurry to wipe it away. Instead, I let it flow freely. It's not often I get the chance, so I figured I'd let it have its moment. But I let it go a little too far, and soon my stomach was covered in milk. When I felt it was about done, I reached for some tissues with burning ears. Ugh, I've had this condition for so long you'd think I'd be used to cleaning it up by now. But why does dealing with this stuff still make my face flush and my heart pound, leaving me breathless? It feels like I'm secretly doing something I shouldn't be. Just as I was in the middle of wiping myself down, red-faced and flustered, I heard the sound of a key turning in the lock. It sounded like the Grim Reaper opening the door. I looked up in alarm, my face instantly draining of all color. Someone's back. I thought they were all busy. I scrambled to grab my shirt, wanting to cover up my secret. But just as my fingers touched the fabric, the door was pushed open. Maybe because he'd just finished playing ball, the guy's usually indifferent, handsome face had a touch of laziness to it. He stood in the doorway looking at me. His gaze swept over the clumps of strange-looking tissues at my feet, over my bloodless face, and over my throat, which was swallowing nervously. Finally, it landed on my bare chest. It was still covered in milk, sticky, suggestive, something that shouldn't be on a guy's chest. Then Alan spoke. "Felix, so this is your strawberry milk? Some people are alive, but they're already dead." Right now, I was somewhere between life and death. I was too scared to move, completely unsure of how to explain myself. And under Alan's gaze, my condition briefly spiraled out of control, and more milk flowed out. Now I was an even bigger mess. I closed my eyes in defeat. It's over. It's all over. Just as I was imagining my reputation being ruined and trying to decide which school building to jump from, Alan moved. He closed the door, walked over, and stood in front of me. He looked down at me, his eyes deep and dark. He was already tall, and his usual cold, aloof demeanor made him incredibly intimidating up close. I had no idea what this campus heartthrob was planning, and for a moment, I didn't dare make a move. All I could do was open my mouth, feeling trapped and nervous. "Alan, can I explain first?" "You can." I rushed to get the words out. "First, I want to make it clear I'm not a pervert or some kind of freak. You can't misunderstand. I'm just sick." "Sick?" "Yes. It's a medical condition." I hastily pulled out my medical records, prescription, and diagnosis letter. I hoped it would make my explanation more believable. "See, the doctor said this condition just makes me a guy lactate for no reason. But as long as I take my medicine on time, I'll go back to normal after a while. So, Alan, please don't tell anyone about this. Okay? I'm begging you." I looked at him with pleading eyes, awaiting his verdict. I saw Alan nod. "I won't tell. Don't worry." "Really? Really?" As he spoke, he calmly picked up a pack of tissues and handed them to me. "Clean yourself up. It'll be a pain to wash if it dries." I took the tissues, pleasantly surprised, and couldn't help but ask, "So, you don't think I'm a freak?" Alan suddenly reached out and patted my head. "I don't. You're just sick with a strange illness. Felix, don't worry. I'll help you keep this a secret. You don't have to be so scared." The weight on my chest finally lifted. I grabbed his hand and leaned in, overjoyed, to thank him. "Thank you, Alan. You're a really good person. If you ever need anything, I'll do whatever I can to help you." But in my excitement, my condition got excited too. And just like that, a few drops of milk dripped directly onto Alan's expensive sneakers and his pant leg. I was so happy I didn't even notice. Alan, however, glanced down without a change in expression. His eyes darkened. He pulled his hand away, his voice slightly hoarse. "Okay, I'm gonna take a shower. You finish cleaning up and then you should wash up too." Okay, you go ahead." Alan was a cold person who loved to be clean. The first thing he always did when he got back to the dorm was shower. So I didn't think much of it. As he showered, I started cleaning myself up again. My mood was no longer heavy, but joyful. He wasn't disgusted by me, and he was even going to help me keep it a secret. This is great. But by the time I was almost done cleaning, Alan still hadn't come out of the bathroom. The water was still running nonstop. Huh? I felt a little suspicious and peeked at the closed bathroom door. Did he really get that sweaty playing basketball today? In any case, Alan's kindness made me feel a lot more relaxed. And the feeling of having someone know my secret and trust me was even better. So I decided to treat him to a few meals to thank him. A little bribery never hurts. Plus, Alan was quiet and reserved. He'd definitely be more diligent about keeping my secret. As I was thinking about what to treat him to, the bathroom door finally opened. Alan's expression was a little strange. It was like he was unsatisfied and frustrated about not getting something. Cold and fierce. But when he saw me, that expression softened. It became coolly detached with a barely perceptible hint of gentleness. "Felix, you can go wash up." "Okay, I'll just clean up this pile of tissues and then I'll go." The guy reminded me in a soft voice, "The hot water is about to run out." I had no choice but to get up. "Alan, can you wait for me then?" After I'm done, I'd like to treat you to dinner. Okay? Okay. I gave him a sweet smile and hurried into the bathroom. I expected the lingering, stuffy steam from the hot water, but instead, it was cool. Huh? Isn't Alan afraid of getting sick from taking such a long, cold shower? Well, I could just have him take some medicine later. That would be another opportunity to be nice to him and make sure he keeps my secret safe. I turned on the shower, happily planning my next move. Suddenly, I realized I'd forgotten to bring a change of clothes in with me. So I left the shower running to make hot water and stepped out of the bathroom. The sound of the door opening was muffled by the water. But as soon as I stepped out, I saw Alan staring at the dirty tissues I had just used and thrown away. Because they were still fresh, the tissues were soaked. So saturated they looked like they were about to overflow. The faint smell of milk was in the air. And Alan was looking down, lost in thought. But his Adam's apple was moving in an unusual way, like he was thirsty. Alan, what's wrong? I called out to him curiously. Alan's eyes flickered towards me, his expression back to normal. Nothing. I was just wondering where to throw out your used tissues. I felt a little embarrassed. I'll throw them in the trash later. Don't touch them, you'll get your hands dirty. It's not dirty. If I help you clean up now, we can go eat sooner. Well, then thank you for the trouble. No trouble. Go take your shower. Thinking he was hungry, I didn't delay any longer. I grabbed my clothes and hurried back into the bathroom. Halfway through my shower, I still felt a little awkward. It felt kind of perverted to have a campus heartthrob that everyone adored handle my used tissues. And they were covered in milk. What if some of it got on his fingers? A ridiculous yet steamy image popped into my head, and my face instantly turned beet red. I mentally cursed myself out and managed to stop my wild thoughts. When I came out of the shower, clean and refreshed, Alan was sitting there playing on his phone. The dorm window was open for ventilation, and the milky smell had dissipated quite a bit. The wads of tissue were also gone. After thanking him again, I quickly dried my hair, got dressed, and we headed straight to the dining hall for dinner. It was peak dinner time, and the place was crowded and noisy. We chatted as we sat down to eat. He didn't say much, mostly just listening to me ramble on about nothing. His cool, quiet demeanor attracted a lot of stolen glances from others in the dining hall. He was still the center of attention. My own heart was racing, and I couldn't help but sneak glances at him too. Being roommates with someone as amazing as Alan was incredibly lucky. It was probably the best luck I'd had in my entire life. If only we could get a little closer. Lost in thought, I felt that familiar, strange sensation in my chest again. I figured it was just a drop or two left over, so I wasn't worried. But a few minutes later, my expression changed dramatically. Crap, I'm having another episode. And it wasn't just a little bit this time. It was a lot. Right here in the bustling dining hall, it was gushing out, completely uncontrollable. I could even feel the front of my shirt getting soaked. Looking down, I saw a very obvious wet patch on my light blue t-shirt. I put down my chopsticks and quickly leaned over the table, trying to hide my front. Across from me, the guy who had been looking down suddenly twitched his nose and then shot his eyes up. "Felix, are you not feeling well?" I nodded, explaining quietly and nervously. "Yeah, I'm having an episode, and I don't think I can control it this time. I can't get up right now or people will see. Sorry, Alan. You go ahead and eat. Don't worry about me." Alan frowned and stood up without another word. He pulled me up and pressed me right into his chest, heading towards the dining hall bathroom. The whole motion was swift. Go to the bathroom and take care of it. I clutched the hem of his shirt, keenly aware that many curious eyes were now on us. I trembled and said, "Alan, people are going to see, aren't they? Don't be scared. Just stay close to me." Okay. I couldn't bear to think about what others were thinking. I just buried my face in his chest and followed him closely. Just like that, Alan led me to the bathroom. Thankfully, it was empty. Alan guided me into the last stall. Forgetting to thank him, I hastily pulled a pack of tissues from my pocket, lifted my shirt with one hand, and started wiping with the other. The cool air on my damp skin made me shiver. I felt as pathetic as a drenched puppy. The aloof guy who had been watching me quietly suddenly let out a very soft, low laugh. It made me so embarrassed I couldn't even lift my head. I started wiping faster, more urgently. But the more I wiped, the more came out. The condition was out of control. I was struggling to manage with just one hand, making an even bigger mess and getting my shirt wetter. Just as I was at a loss, Alan's cool, detached voice sounded. "Felix, do you need me to help you wipe that?" I looked up, dazed. My gaze fell directly into the guy's dark eyes. He looked at me and said, "If you do, lift up your shirt yourself." Agreed. After all, the smell in the bathroom was far from pleasant, and not even Alan's fresh, clean scent could mask the stench. It was unbearable. So, I obediently used both hands to lift up my shirt. Alan commanded in a cold voice, chest out, a little closer to me. I trembled and did as I was told. Then Alan started wiping me with a tissue. Unlike his well-defined 8-pack abs, my body was pathetically soft. I had 2 faint V-lines on my stomach, barely holding up my masculine pride. That last bit of dignity meant I couldn't admit defeat in such a sorry state. So I quickly sucked in my breath, trying to flex. But Alan didn't seem to notice, his wiping motions never stopping. His touch was very light. Compared to my own rough, careless wiping, it was incredibly gentle. His hands were especially beautiful, with well-defined knuckles. A few prominent blue veins snaked across the back of his hands. When a drop of liquid accidentally splattered on them, they suddenly looked strange. Just one glance and I felt like I was about to cook. A fine sweat broke out on my forehead, and I almost lost the strength to keep flexing. To make matters worse, Alan kept up a casual conversation. "Does it always flow this much when you have an episode?" "No, it's just, for some reason, there's a lot today. Have you ever tasted it?" I denied it, mortified. "Of course not. Tasting my own stuff just feels weird. Besides, things like this probably just taste like milk, right?" "Really? But why do I always smell strawberries?" "No way, you must be mistaken. Even if there was, I wouldn't admit it. Strawberries were just too suggestive." Alan just smiled and didn't say any more, just grabbed another clean tissue and started wiping the source of the problem. Unfortunately, that spot was also very sensitive. As he leaned in closer, his breath tickled me, sending shivers down my spine. My heart hammered in my chest, deafeningly loud. I instinctively tried to pull back. "What are you pulling back for?" The guy grabbed my waist with one hand and glanced up at me. There was a heat in his eyes I couldn't understand, which strangely made him seem cold and impatient. I immediately became obedient. "I'm not. It just tickles. Almost done." "Okay." I didn't dare move again, just stood there in front of him, biting my lip as he cleaned me up. A short while later, everything was back to normal, the episode under control. I let down my crumpled t-shirt. The next second, the fabric clung to my skin, and my chest felt sticky. But I didn't care, because something else had happened that made me feel even more hopeless and terrified. I snuck a glance at the tall guy washing his hands at the sink, then silently looked down and tugged at my pants and the hem of my t-shirt, trying to hide something. That was close. I almost revealed my sexuality right in front of Alan. That's right, I'm a closeted gay guy. I like guys. And Alan, this campus heartthrob, this golden boy, my aloof roommate, was the one I had a secret crush on. He broke girls' hearts and guys' hearts even more. He was a total dreamboat in the gay community. Simply put, he was drop-dead gorgeous. Falling for him felt completely natural. But I never dared to show it in front of Alan because his sexuality seemed a bit ambiguous. You could say he was gay, but when guys confessed to him, the disgust in his eyes was obvious. You could say he was straight, but he was also very cold towards girls. Ultimately, though, it was more likely that Alan was straight. I didn't want him to hate me, and I didn't want to test the waters, so I'd always hidden my feelings for him, never daring to show them. It was enough to just be his ordinary roommate, someone he nodded to. I could still talk to him, say hi to him, and watch him from afar. I just never expected to suddenly get such a bizarre illness, which unexpectedly brought us closer. He wasn't disgusted by me, he even took care of me. It was a dream I never thought would come true. So when he was helping me clean up just now, my heart was racing. Half of my affection rushed to my head, the other half went south. I was so flustered. My heart was beating so violently I was afraid he'd hear it, which is why I tried to pull away. In the end, I relied on what little rationality I had left to barely conceal it and not give myself away. Otherwise, Alan probably would have been so shocked he would have shoved my head in the toilet to snap me out of it. He might understand an illness, but he might not understand something like sexuality. Even the nicest straight guy might be friendly to other guys, but they could also be disgusted by gay men. So, it's better to just keep my little secret hidden. I composed myself and went to wash my hands, rinsing off the dried milk stains. Since the wet patch on my shirt was too obvious, dinner was definitely off the table. Alan and I avoided the crowds, went back to the dorm, ordered takeout, and just chatted. The atmosphere was great, put me in a really good mood. I couldn't stop myself from stealing glance after glance at Alan, my heart filled with joy. That night, I dreamt of him again, just as I'd hoped. This time, the dream was a bit more intense than the last one, more impactful. In the dream, Alan pressed me against the bathroom stall door in the dining hall, didn't say a word, and just lowered his head. Afterward, he whispered contentedly in my ear, "It really is strawberry flavored." I wrapped my arms around his neck, feeling the foul bathroom smell completely replaced by his fresh, clean scent. I felt light as a feather. So much so that when my alarm woke me up the next day, my heart was still pounding. It wasn't until I heard Alan getting out of bed that I silently cursed myself. How am I getting more and more perverted? It's bad enough that I have a secret crush on Alan, but now I'm being so shameless even in my dreams. But if Alan really wanted to drink it, I bit my lip and shyly rubbed my face against the pillow. After the incident in the bathroom, my relationship with Alan progressed by leaps and bounds. Within a few days, we started doing everything together. When I had a sudden episode in the classroom, he would go with me to the bathroom to handle it. He'd help me wipe up, fix my clothes, and provide cover. If I forgot to wash my damp t-shirt after changing, he'd help me with that too. Even though I knew it was probably just out of friendly concern, I was still incredibly happy. I started to feel like it didn't matter whether this weird illness ever went away, because if it meant getting even a little bit of Alan's attention, I'd be fine with never recovering. But then I started to notice something strange. The wads of tissue I used to clean myself up kept disappearing mysteriously, especially the ones I used in the dorm. Before I even had a chance to throw them away, I'd take a shower, and when I came out, they'd be gone. I always assumed Alan was just kindly cleaning up after me, so I didn't think much of it. Until one day when I needed to do laundry. Alan was in the shower after playing basketball, and the only thing on his chair was the jacket he had worn. There were a few faint white spots on it. I had accidentally gotten them on him during an episode yesterday. I had been so embarrassed and tried to wipe it off for him, but Alan had grabbed my wrist and said it was fine. Just thinking about the warmth of his palm made my cheeks burn a little. So, I figured I might as well wash this jacket for him too. I walked over and habitually checked the pockets for any valuables. But instead, I felt two dry, crumpled things. I pulled them out, confused, and looked down. It was my used tissues. They were covered in hardened milk stains, and I could still faintly smell the lingering scent. Didn't Alan say he threw all these dirty tissues away? Why were they in his pocket? Did he forget to throw them out? I stood there, completely baffled, my mind in a whirl. Just then, the bathroom door opened. Alan started walking towards me. When he saw what was in my hand, his footsteps faltered. I clutched the wads of tissue and looked up helplessly at the handsome guy whose face had suddenly tensed up. "Alan, didn't you say you threw all this stuff away?" I didn't want to. "Why? I like the smell. I want to keep smelling it." As he answered, he stared straight at me. It was as if he was ready to change his story the second I frowned. But why would I be angry? I was just a little embarrassed. What's so good about the smell? Didn't you already say it was strawberry flavored? I've never tasted it, so I'm not sure. As he spoke, his gaze swept over my chest. The implication was clear. My breath caught in my throat, and for a long moment, I couldn't speak. The guy didn't say anything else either. The atmosphere hung there, stiff and strange. After a while, I finally came to my senses. First, I threw the dirty tissues in my hand into the trash can. Then, under that intense, direct gaze, I slowly walked over. I looked up at the handsome guy who was half a head taller than me, with a weak, innocent, and unpracticed sort of allure. Alan, I think I'm about to have another episode. Can you help me clean up? Alan looked down at me, his eyes sharp, cold, and fierce. As my clothes were being neatly rearranged, I lay on my bed, a bit dazed. I could still faintly hear Alan's husky, moist words whispered in my ear. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It was almost exactly like my dream. I felt like a string or a bell inside my head was being toyed with by a beautiful hand, ringing chaotically. Is Alan really straight? Would a straight guy do something this over-the-top intimate? Or was he just curious and wanted a simple taste? I didn't know, couldn't guess. But this was a very good start. I could use this opportunity to test him, pursue him, turn him. Maybe there would be an unexpected reward. I happily rubbed my face against my pillow, unable to suppress a smile. Someone knocked twice on my bed's railing. I opened my bed curtain and met the eyes of Alan, who was standing below. The guy had a satisfied, slightly lazy look on his face, clearly in a good mood. He patted my head. There's still plenty of hot water. Want to take a shower? I shook my head. I already showered when I got back. No need to waste water. And besides, I shyly rubbed his hand. And besides, I don't think anything actually came out just now. It's pretty clean. Not clean, he added, a rare hint of teasing in his tone. My saliva isn't wiped off. My face instantly exploded in red. The possibility of Alan being gay was definitely over 50%. By the time Mike and the others got back to the dorm, I had already showered again and was lying in bed. I was peeking through the gap in my bed curtain, secretly watching Alan bustling around. Mike was humming a song as he passed him, then suddenly stopped. Dude, Alan, why do you smell like milk? Just drank a lot. The guy replied coolly. My eyelashes trembled. I guess it really was a lot. Mike kept pressing. Whoa. I remember giving you a carton of plain yogurt once, and the look of disgust on your face is still burned into my memory. You like this stuff now? Depends on the person. Depends on the person. What's that got to do with drinking milk? Wait, it smells like strawberry milk. Don't tell me Felix gave it to you. He was right. Alan nodded. All right, you two are all happy together now, leaving us all alone. Felix, my little cutie, I want some of your strawberry milk too. Give me a carton, will ya? Mike said, turning as if he was about to open my curtain to beg for a drink. But the next second, Alan gave him an unceremonious kick. Hell no. By your own. Mike howled in protest. But one light glance from Alan was enough to make him back down. He sighed dramatically, muttering nonsense about how their bro-ship was fading and how his dad had a new mom. I touched my hot face and hugged my blanket, my heart fluttering. I only want Alan to drink it. And just like that, I almost never had to deal with the jongjing of having a massively wet shirt again. Every time I had an episode, Alan's nose was incredibly sharp. He would proactively offer to help me. I would obediently comply, secretly loving it. But after this happened several times, even I, with my little fantasies, started to worry. Because he was, like a pervert, very fierce. He went too far. Scared me. Until one night, after a full day without any episodes, I was lying in bed resting. The dorm lights were out, and only Mike's snoring echoed through the room. I was just drifting off to sleep when I felt the bed shake slightly. It seemed like someone was climbing up my bunk ladder. I had just opened my eyes when I saw Alan pull back my bed curtain. In the dim light, the guy's silhouette was very clear. He didn't seem to be wearing a shirt, just holding a phone for a bit of light. I rubbed my eyes and asked in a very small voice, Alan, what's wrong? I'm thirsty. Oh, if you're thirsty, go get a drink of water. I was so tired. My thoughts were sluggish, and I couldn't stop yawning. But a moment later, I realized something. My eyes shot open as I stared at the guy who now had one knee on my bed. Panicked. You! Alan, Mike, and the others are still here. And I didn't have an episode today. My only answer was a louder snore from Mike and Alan's ice-cold command. He lifted the hem of my shirt and stuffed it directly into my mouth. But I'm thirsty. Bite your shirt. Bite it and don't let go. In the cramped space behind the curtain, the guy's voice was mercilessly cold. I was terrified and shocked, my heart pounding. Once Mike's snoring quieted down a bit, my whimpering became more noticeable. Alan pulled out the slobber-soaked shirt I'd been biting and knelt beside me. "What are you crying for?" he said, reaching for a tissue to wipe my face. I wanted to dodge, but I didn't dare. With the little courage I had, I whispered, "Alan, this is going too far." "How is it too far? Guys can't do things like this." "What things?" "You know, what you just did. It's too intimate. Only couples do that. You're not gay, you'll give people the wrong idea." I scolded him while carefully probing. I was terrified of hearing a disgusted rebuttal from Alan. But the guy's expression didn't change. He just pulled out another tissue and wiped the saliva from my chin. Huh? I didn't react for a moment. I said, "I'm gay." Alan repeated, his voice flat. Now I was completely stunned. "You like guys?" My voice was so high with surprise that Mike's snoring stopped for half a second. I immediately calmed down a bit and asked in a low voice, "But didn't you reject a lot of guys who confessed to you?" "If I don't like them, of course I'm going to reject them. It's not like I like every single guy." I felt both happy and disappointed at the same time. "Alan, since you're gay, aren't you worried you'll give me the wrong idea by treating me like this every day?" Alan didn't answer, but asked a question instead. "What about you, Felix? You let me bully you like this every day without a fight. Aren't you worried I'll get the wrong idea? Or are you just perfectly willing to be bullied by me like this?" I blinked, not knowing how to answer. But Alan's eyes were staring straight at me. In the dim light, I could vaguely make out the undisguised passion in them. It went straight to my head. I impulsively grabbed his hand and confessed in a small voice, I am willing, because I like guys too. I was afraid you were homophobic before, so I never dared to show it. I never thought we were the same. I can bring you water when you play basketball, and I can let you drink strawberry milk every day. So Alan, if you don't have anyone you like, and you don't hate me, can I pursue you? You like me?" I admitted it. Alan didn't say anything. His eyes were just deep and dark. Just as I was getting nervous, he dropped a single cool sentence. "You can pursue me, but there's no need." I was a bit confused. I thought it was a roundabout rejection, and my heart instantly sank. I turned my head away, wanting to get away from him. But then Alan grabbed my chin, looking amused. "What's with the sad face?" "What I mean is, you can pursue me, but you don't have to waste time on that boring process because I'm saying yes right now. Felix, I'm your boyfriend now." This was a roller coaster. After all the ups and downs, it finally landed safely. I hesitated, calling his name. "Boyfriend?" "Yeah, I am." Alan gave me a reassuring kiss on the cheek, confirming it. I thought that getting this strange illness would turn my life into a complete mess. I never expected it to be a blessing in disguise. I had actually managed to win over my aloof roommate. I was floating, so happy I could fly. And in my excitement, today's episode finally hit. My pajamas were quickly soaked. Listening to the snores of Mike and the others starting up again, Alan leaned in and whispered in my ear. They were wicked words. Incredibly bad. But why do I smell milk? In the final hazy moments, I realized a truth. It never actually smelled like strawberries. Does Alan have a problem with his sense of taste? As he climbed down to go take a shower, I accidentally bumped his phone, which he'd left by my pillow. Out of politeness, I had never touched his phone before. I wouldn't even glance at his screen. But now that we were boyfriends, it shouldn't be a problem to just check the time, right? So I lazily pressed the power button. The next second, I froze completely, because I saw his lock screen wallpaper. It was a photo of me from freshman year. A little awkward. I must have been sleepy during a major specific class and had secretly dozed off at my desk. There were clear indentations on my face from leaning on it. Somehow, someone had secretly taken a picture of me like that and set it as their wallpaper. I realized something. My heart suddenly started racing. It turned out I hadn't successfully pursued Alan at all. He had been planning this for a long time, waiting to reel me in, coveting me. And I naively took the bait. I even let him bully me and confessed my feelings first. I was both angry and mortified. Alan, that scheming, manipulative guy,